That's so cool. Stats matter. I will build a robot that knows how to love. You're tired of seeing robots used for war. You want to show the world that robots can love as well. Will your companion be male or female? So wait, this isn't Asuna. So Asuna wasn't the one that apparently that in my mind in the game we were supposed to be falling in love with. I guess we're building a second robot. We're building a female. You name her? Okay, so we did Asuna. Do I like Flame Key or Galadia? No. We're going to think of a new one. There's Asuna. What's another good lady name? Maki from Soul Eater. We're gonna name it ourselves. And this is the one we're gonna apparently learn to, that's going to teach to love, so this matters. I'm so bad with it takes me forever to think of a really good name. Meiko? Nah. Could do Miko. Which is funny, I think that was one of the options for the first robot. I'm going through anime in my head. Could name her Mizuki, which is essentially just like bathing suit. Why is this hard? Hold on. Yuna could work. Let me look up something real quick. Hold on. Do I have a browser open? Oh, you know what? I got it already. Don't have to do it. Her name is May. I was gonna type in a bunch, like, looking for top anime waifus. But, like, I play Overwatch, and my #1 waifu in Overwatch is May, so we're going with May. Call your female companion bot May. Yes. Are you looking to have a companion with whom you can be romantic? Yeah. That's the idea. You've created May to look like your concept of the ideal woman. The process of creating this wondrous robot took a lot out of you, but you learned much from the experience. Grace! She is truly a masterpiece. Beautiful, painfully beautiful to look upon. Like Sleeping Beauty, May lies on the floor of your bedroom, awaiting your touch to be awoken. 6B, empathy. Because that's what we had empathy. It is the year 2034, 5 years after the war with China. Robots that look like human beings have become the new hot technology. I'll bet one that is still divisive. Some say that if the same technology had been put into robots on the front lines, America would have won the war against China. But Professor Ziegler's an idiot. The years since you create May have been very happy ones for you. You created May to love you unconditionally, and she does. She's our romantic robot. You live in San Francisco, a city of drastic inequalities brought about by the robot tech boom. It's where you need to be for work, but it isn't necessarily the best place for May. You can't believe how much you're spending on this somewhat shabby apartment. Inflation combined with spiraling rents have made every month's rent almost $10,000. You're scrapping by. You have no idea what people who aren't in tech do to survive. Wow. You're hanging balloons in your apartment for a festive occasion. The tasting party. No robot you've made until now could taste food, but you've just finished a prototype artificial tongue. It's not the most necessary thing in the world, but you think your robots ought to be able to enjoy food with others. There's something primordial. You think about the ritual act of sitting down to eat with another person. To eat, but not taste something somehow like an impolite sham. No more, your robots will taste. Your which robot will try out the tasting sensor at this party? 2 prototypes. I think we'll let them both taste. That's weird to have. So Asuna, I guess, is going to be our little sister, and May is going to be our boo. I think that's how this game is working out. Till Asuna grows up, and then we got 2 ladies. You feel lucky that you managed to survive the aftermath of the war with your funds relatively intact. Though much of your savings became useless, you still make a decent living inventing new technologies and selling the patents to larger companies. Asuna, the more adventurous of the two robots, appears to have tried more tastes than May already. Like siblings, they seem to have settled into niches, or niches? I say niches, in competing for your attention. May now tries to be more human-like, while Asuna occasionally flaunts her freedom to be strange. Did you try dirt? Asuna asks May. She walks behind the younger robot who has put out at plates. Dirt tastes very interesting. I don't think people are supposed to eat dirt. Sure they do! It's called pica. It helps people get essential vitamins and minerals. I read about it on the internet. We're not going to eat dirt tonight, are we? What kind of foods will you serve to introduce the robots to a wide variety of culinary arts? I'm not doing weird. Wine and cheese. I'd rather do one of these. They're ladies. Give them some desserts. I like desserts too, so we're doing desserts. The brownies should be done by now. You go to the oven and pull out the tray of brownies. Indeed, they look done and smell delicious. You set these on the table and retrieve the pudding, trifle, and crepes you've put in the fridge. You spoil the robots, and they know it. Yeah. There's a shave and a haircut knock at the door. That must be Ellie. You answer it. Cool. This is much better. I like this. Ellie has aged gracefully into her late 30s, still cultivating a youthful appearance even as the signs of middle age set in. She has dyed her hair bright red, but you can see some gray at the roots. In her 30s? Oh. The subtle wrinkles at the edges of her eyes make it look like she's smiling slightly. Maybe she is. She hangs her stylish red overcoat made of a new dirt-repellent fabric on a coat near the door, revealing a black bolero, white on a polka dot shirt, and tall black boots. Ellie now works as a designer for a smart clothing manufacturer. She's very good at making the technology's touches subtle, unlike in the in-your-face designs of the early wearable internet devices. Okay, so she's smart clothing. So, like, everything's just smart. That's a good point, Business Suit Gamer. It could be the stress. That makes sense. You have no doubt that the coat she just hung up is connected to the internet and has an associated app for finding out its location and the contents of its pockets. You similarly have no doubt Ellie deactivated all of that in her own coat. Under one arm, Ellie is carrying a reusable bag of groceries from the local organic supermarket. Hope I'm not late. I brought some veggies and kombucha. Oh gosh, kombucha? Jeez. Ellie sets the groceries down on the kitchen counter. The groceries are from a chain that seemed to come along with Ellie from Canada after the war. Solar Food sells only food that has been picked by solar-powered robots. This and a surprisingly newfound love of hockey are just 2 reminders of Ellie's brief exodus in Canada. Because, you know, if you go to Canada, you like hockey. Just like if you're in the United States, you like American football. She seemed to really like the place. Ellie gives a tight smile to May. How are you? Ellie then returns to unpacking groceries. Fine. How are you? Good. You think she dislikes May, but you're not sure why. It's because we're banging the robot every night instead of Ellie. Duh. Gah. Pull Ellie aside and ask what's wrong. Pull May aside and tell her not to worry about Ellie. Encourage May and Ellie to talk to each other without pulling either aside. Work it out. Frickin' ladies. Pulling either Ellie or May aside will probably be somewhat obvious and make one or the other feel excluded. You prefer to get them talking to each other. Can I offer you both some hot chocolate? Sure, thanks. Yes, please. You pour them both a glass. While May doesn't have much to say, but an appreciative, it's good, Ellie points out the ways in which this particular hot chocolate is unique, as she happens to know the couple that makes it locally. When May asks about the details of how it's made, Ellie happily provides them. Ha ha ha! They're getting along. In the middle of the conversation, May casts an appreciative glance in your direction. She sees what you did there. I'm not smart with women. I let them do their own thing. I'm not one for drama. There's a knock on the door, a firm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You open it and find Josh. Still wearing a button-down shirt and khakis from work. His grudging nod to the fact that his old style doesn't look right on a guy with some gray hairs, and carrying a large wine bottle case with both hands. A different large bottle of beer sits in each cubbyhole. Cool. Noticing your interest, he says, I've got all kinds of stuff here. Belgians, Pilsners, an Imperial Stout, some barrel-aged stuff, a chocolate coffee porter. I seem to remember you like those, he grins, but it's mostly for the robots. Thanks. This must have cost a lot. Just some things I had lying around. Hey, Ellie. Hey, Josh. Long time no see. You looking good? Ellie says that because, come to think of it, Josh is not looking good. He looks tired, but he gratefully accepts the compliment. Thanks. You're looking good yourself. I bet you still get carded. I do. That's a good line, by the way. That's a good line. I need to remember that line. Though actually, if I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to find somebody who doesn't like to drink anyway, so it's not going to matter. Thank you for bringing all this, May says. Wow, what is all this? Asasuna says, picking up beer bottles one by one. You can put anything in beer when you're brewing it as the last 5% of the mix or so, and you get a different taste, explains the robot. So I thought this would be a good way to show you all kinds of different tastes in the same context. Compare and contrast, like they used to say back in school. Yeah, carded for, say if you're 21 to be able to drink. So I think it's a very smart thing to say. You now recall how you had a tough time deciding whether alcohol should decrease inhibitions when the robots tasted it. What did you decide? I don't want them to get drunk. Do I want them to get drunk? I'm not drunk. I mean buzzed. Do I care about them being buzzed? It would still make them drink responsibly. But I definitely don't want them getting drunk. I don't think people should drink to getting drunk anyway. Tell me all the good decisions that happened when people were drunk. Yeah, I didn't think so. Feel buzzed, not get drunk. Let them have a half and half. That's a compromise, in my opinion. You can tell the robot spirits are becoming lighter as the conversation continues. The robots eagerly tried a little of each beer, then a lot of each beer. May becomes a little less timid over the course of the night, opening up to Josh. Josh, for his part, is enthusiastic about the amazing technology behind May, and he's all too happy to sing your praises about her. Yeah, that was... It was back and forth for me on that decision. Asuna gets a bit silly, and at one point starts to juggle a strawberry and chocolate crepe and brownie and an empty beer bottle. Thankfully, this works. Party bot, your robots got a little tipsy? Of course they did. The night continues with the robots trying one dessert after the other and sampling all the sweets in turn. The robots linger especially on the strawberry and chocolate crepe, calling out the various subtle notes of the taste as they are discovered. Ellie seems to enjoy the evening and has a conversation with the robots about the chemistry of cooking that puts your long-forgotten knowledge of organic chemistry to the test. Josh proves full of stories about exotic foods he himself has tried over the years from fancy restaurants. Mushroom-flavored push pops, exotic terrines, the French consommé attract his particular praise. I mean, a little, that's true. I was drunk once. I don't want to do it again. And I didn't like the taste of the alcohol anyway. It was vodka. It was a screwdriver. So orange juice and vodka. Not my... I never got a taste for it, and I don't want it. I'm already lightheaded and dizzy anyway. I don't need to be doing something like that. May is smiling more than you'd ever seen since you created her. Happy to be partaking on this human ritual, and you're glad your invention is making her happy. Asuna comments about the food are a bit odd, focusing on the individual elements of the chemical composition, like she's reading the back of the box for ingredients. He tried to explain how each ingredient contributes to the taste, but the individual elements just don't seem to be coalescing into a meaningful whole for Asuna. You then realize that, until this point, memorized ingredient lists and recipes from the internet were all she had to go on to infer what foods must taste like, and you suppose it's those individual elements that Asuna now finds so interesting. Hey, Spiff. I've been thinking about getting a companion robot for myself. Well, what do you think about that? You glance at Ellie across the room. She's telling May about the virtues of local food. That depends. What do you want one for? For sex. Oh, that's not on here. I guess I've come to realize that I don't have time for a real relationship in my line of work. I secretly want someone there who's going to make dinner and clean and ask me how my day was. That kind of absurd 50s housewife model. But I'd feel bad asking a real woman to be that for me, especially since I know I'll be busy all the time in return. So maybe a robot is just who I want. Looks worried for a moment. The robots really are designed to enjoy that kind of lifestyle, right? That's what we've been saying in the ads, so I hope it's true. I mean, that seems pretty good. Yes, they're designed to genuinely enjoy serving others. I don't think the public would stand for anything else. Good. He looks relieved. But would you... You're not sure how to delicately phrase your next question. From Josh's immediate blush, you think you know the answer anyway. You switch tracks. Never mind. How sure are you that you want this cooking and cleaning sort of person rather than someone independent? Not very. Maybe a housewife robot would be bad for me. I don't know. What should I want? Oh, I could make him ask Ellie out. I feel bad because I don't like. I want to encourage him to get a real relationship with a real woman, but they're gonna need actual attention. I don't know if that he'd be able to find somebody who would actually be fine with only seeing him that little. I tell him, sure, man, if that's going to make you happy, and yeah, go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with dating a robot. They're just as emotionally intelligent as people now, maybe more so. You grand nodding robots, and soon they'll even be able to taste their own cooking. Alright, thanks. Maybe I'll try to go on a date with one at the local dance hall. Good idea. I've been thinking it would be good to take May out of the town, too. Great. You cast a glance at May. Not her, you say reflexively. Though you're not sure why you're so instinctively defensive about her. I wasn't suggesting. Okay. That's my love robot. Back up. Soon enough, the food is all gone, and you're left discussing the evening with robots. What do you think? It's wonderful! She continues to nibble on a brownie, apparently trying to make it last as long as possible. I think I understand so much more about emotions now. I know what it is to be sweet, like a cookie, or bitter, like dark chocolate. That's some really dark chocolate if it's bitter. Like 90%. 80% I can still taste the sugar. Not entirely sure look, I can read. Not entirely sure you've quite got it. Spiff read emote. Hashtag soon. But still, it's much like an emotion. It's difficult to describe and powerful, and moves in a way largely unsymbolic. I think I have never had such a primal experience before. Yeah, not Sour Patch Kid. Well, we didn't give him anything sour. That's okay. That's a lot of people's first reaction to beer. I want to learn to cook. Of course! You hadn't expected this to be the natural turn of events from tonight, but you suppose it's only a natural extension of May's built-in desire to be helpful. The evening continues pleasantly with you and Ellie and Josh chatting with May and Asuna about the subtleties of taste over cups of hot chocolate until the small hours. Nice. So we're being nice. On Friday, you go to the local swing club with May. You wait in line to the dance hall, a converted YMCA basketball court, behind some women wearing snazzy polka dot shirts and men wearing vests and newsy hats, along with some younger folks, college age maybe, who are probably here for the first time, judging from the guys' t-shirts, too shabby, and the women's high heels, too impractical. So, about half of the snappy dressers are robots. You can tell them because of the way they stand. A little too straight, but someone who didn't design the balance algorithms probably wouldn't notice. You don't think of any of the really young people are robots. It would be surprising, you think, for someone to spend all the money on a robot and not pay to dress well. Okay, so now the robots are being... I didn't realize this is how close the robots were. It's hard to actually differentiate human from robot. Probably like Detroit Become Human. Like, are we... I'm guessing that's where we are now. It's where you actually can't just tell from, like, a picture. You paid admission for you and me. Robots are cheaper than humans, you notice, and enter the dance hall, which they've decorated with fake portholes and lifesavers, along with a large banner that says, Happy 100th Anniversary. Anything goes! Ooh. The lights are all up currently, as two robots in the corner of the hall have just started a swing dance lesson. Slow, slow, quick, quick, says the male robot to the pair, demonstrating. Robots and humans in a circle around the instructor try to mirror his steps with varying degrees of success. Robots are defined. They're programmed to be that way. And then they're programmed to learn properly. Of course, humans could be raised up to be proper and just be wrong. You notice Josh is on the other side of the circle, wearing a very slick vest himself. He's with a very pretty companion bot, who has come in a striking low-cut velvet dress. It takes you a moment to recognize that Josh chose to match his own features and all the custom features of the robot. Pale skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. But that seems to be the case for most of the robots in the circle. For most of the aspiring dancers who brought robots, the robots mirror their own virtues up to a great degree. I'm not entirely certain why you've brought me here, or why everyone is moving like this. Surely you've looked up swing dancing in your knowledge base before coming. Yes, but its explanation of why are circular. Why do people like to dance? It's a way of expressing joy in being alive. There's joy in the wordless communication that two dancers share. I'm not much of a dancer, so I don't understand that one. I imagine it developed as a socially acceptable way of assessing sexual chemistry. That seems just very accurate. But I like the first option better. It's a way of expressing joy in being alive. Hi, Cal. How you doing, sir? Happy Sunday. But why do people not move joyfully all the time, then? I suppose they could. Notice Mark the reporter in the corner of the dance hall, typing away. He's now a little balding and sporting a beard that reminds you of Toby Ziegler from that old show your parents used to watch, The West Wing. He catches your eye and says, How's it going, Spiff? The way the grin doesn't reach his eyes also reminds you of Toby Ziegler. Well, what's the story you're currently writing about? Robot romance? What do you think about all the robot couples? May leans in to attend your answer. No, they're not too subservient. I don't believe that. Think you should join us. Rotate partners and find out what it's like yourself. We're not going to rotate partners? No. I'm going to go with the first one. I think everybody needs to find their own path to happiness, and that may mean marrying a robot. May gives you a speculative look. She seems pleasantly surprised. Mark nods. Thanks. He goes back to tapping up his article. Over the course of the dance lesson, you end up being instructed to rotate partners a fair amount. Oh, that's what I meant by rotating partners. I thought I meant, like... Never mind. Look, I'm sheltered. Dancing with robots and humans. The flesh and blood dancers are a mixed bag. You get the impression that some of them have never danced before in their lives, while others seem practiced and must come every week. You yourself danced plenty back in MIT, but that was almost 20 years ago, and you welcome the refresher. Though most of the dancers must be in their 20s, they seem like babies to you. You find it hard to believe you were their age when you learned. You certainly didn't feel young then. Are you learning the leader's part or the follower's part? Men's traditionally dance the leader's part, but this has become more fluid over the years. Leader. I know how to do a waltz, the two-step, and I think the quick step. I'm more comfortable with the waltz though. The boom ba ba boom ba ba boom ba ba boom 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 boom. That one. The robots you dance with tend to be female. You find that you're relatively good at sending the signals necessary for your partners to understand your lead, and the robots do an admirable job of following. It is a beautiful thing to behold your technology at work, for it was you who developed the robot's capacity to understand and intuit your reactions. But it's also nice to feel you're a good leader. As for the robot's grace, you find that they are are a pleasure to behold. All their spins and turns seem absolutely lovely, when led correctly. Over the course of the lesson, you relearn the basic step, how to lead underarm and overarm turns, how to spin your partner, and the Sweetheart, a move that lands your partner nestled in your arms. Oh, that's like when you bring them like right here for a hug. At the end of the lesson, you return to May for the dance proper. Light in the halls dim, and you get to business dancing with May in earnest. You struggle to remember all the things you learned and put them in time with the music. Inside turn, outside turn, but May seems to have no trouble following and is enjoying the dance. Asuna seems to be a little jealous of our going out together tonight, May says as you dance. I take it she used to feel that you did everything together, and now you're spending time with me instead. Oh, gosh, now we gotta pick which one's which? I hope there's an option to have both of them. Okay, the first one seems like we're picking more Asuna. Do we have stats? Not for them. Oh, we have May! But we don't have one for Asuna. Interesting. Huh. I thought we would have had a relationship with Asuna. I guess we don't. I'd say who wouldn't be jealous of you? If she's the romance bot, you'd be nice. But Business Suit Gamer is saying the first option will bring balance. I do want balance. I'm going to trust you on that one. If I'm going for balance, where I can love on both of them. That's kind of my goal here. Of course, perhaps now that there are more robots in the world, you could consider letting her out to interact with them more. That's true, you say. The future has crept up on you, because there were no other robots when Asuna was made. You hadn't really given the thought to building a social life for her beyond yourself. Good idea. For a time, the two of you just dance. There's a lot of cold partner tonight, night and day, then love for sale, and it must be because of Anything Goes anniversary. Do you want to be a couple with me? I think we are. That's what I built you for. I mean, that's a really, that's a quick question. I think we are. I want her to go this route anyway. Come on, May. Good. And though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything, anything, anything goes. The lights go up, the dancers clap, and you realize that it was the last song of the night. Across the dance floor, you see Josh kiss his companion robot, and the two of them make their way out without saying goodbye to you, his arm around her protectively. Go get him, Josh! You head home with May, chatting about swing moves all the while. Spend the next few months having more adventures with May, showing her all the things that are to experience in life. Amusement parks, museums, trips to South America and Europe and Asia and Africa. May seems very happy. Good. You see little of Josh these days. You think he's fallen in love with his own companion robot. Go for it, dude. You catch glimpses of them in big events, like the New Year's first night celebration welcoming 2035. His social media accounts just show him and his robot, Delilah, nice name, on one adventure after another. Good for him. It's well into the evening, and May is holding aside a curtain to look out the window at the bright lights of the city. You know what I've never done? Stargazing. It's been out in the evening. I've been out in the evening so little, and the few times I did go out, I didn't think to look up. She drops the curtain and looks back at you. Would you go with me to the park? It's technically closed after sundown, but people online say nobody checks. You consider that it may be good to allow Asuna and May to build a friendship instead, so they aren't so dependent on you. Asuna has been a little starved for attention since you built May. I think this is a good balance. I think. I think that's fine.